Hunting Big Pike is brought to you by ShopMissouriSecrets.com.
Well, it's finally that time of year again, where we're finishing up this midwinter bite and we're moving on to late ice. And for us, that means hunting for big pike on Lake Sakakawea. Now we're going to go through some of the little details that you need to know to put yourself on the fish of a lifetime. So let's get into it. The first thing you need to know is, what are these big pike doing right now and why exactly are they doing it? So let's take a look at the map. During January and February, these big fish can be found in and around the main part of the reservoir, usually chasing food. But at the end of February to beginning of March, instinct starts to take over and they start moving toward their spring spawning grounds, which is usually where warm spring runoff is flowing into the lake. So now that we know where they're coming from and where they're going, it's time to pick out a spot to fish. When it comes to catching these big pike on these reservoirs, you can put a tip up out almost anywhere and have the chance of catching a giant fish. But there are a few key locations that you can look for that will greatly increase your odds of catching the fish of a lifetime. The first location we like to target are saddles between two large flats. The next location, and our favorite, is fishing creek channels. And finally, fishing shallow water along shorelines. Now what's nice about these three locations is they naturally concentrate fish as they travel to their spring spawning grounds. Now this next part requires a little bit of observation when you're out on the ice. If you haven't been following these big fish throughout the winter, your best bet is to start at the spawning location and work your way back until you find them. While everything is still frozen over, these big pike are traveling lower in the water column looking up for food. This is why saddles and channels tend to produce more. But as soon as the shorelines start to thaw out and open up, even just a little bit, these pike will move up shallower and start traveling in as little as 1 foot of water. Because of this, there are a few places we like to place our bait. Right under the ice, halfway down, and about 3 to 6 feet off the bottom. Now remember, don't forget to listen to the fish. If you start catching fish on one type of bait, adjust your other presentations accordingly so you can start catching more fish. Now, all of this information holds true even past late ice. 1 week, you can be having a ton of fun on the ice with these big predators, and literally a couple of days later, you can be on shore catching fish open water. Finally, there are a few things to remember. First, a realistic goal is to hope for 1 big fish a day. So this is a great time to take friends and family out and enjoy the beautiful spring weather. Next is you have to respect these big fish. If you're not going to eat it or put a trophy fish on the wall, return them back to the water, let them spawn, and give someone else the chance to catch a big fish. And last but not least, take the time to enjoy yourself during the beautiful spring while you chase your fish of a lifetime.